Alrighty then. I thought I'd add color to the dimension of the talk I gave a little while ago about grayscale and black and white and everything's really gray. Previous letter, which I'll link to. But right now what I want to look at is the level up from that, which is color. And what I did is I went to Porsche's website, because Porsche has a lot of colors they offer, generally for a ton of money. And I just grabbed screenshots of the ones they consider not too expensive. So not $25,000 for the color, but only $1,500 or something like that. And what I want to look at here is the concept that even though it looks like we've got a black color here and a silver and a white and a gray blue, they're all, in a sense, blue. And I didn't make it that way. I'm not trying to trick you or anything, but nonetheless, they kind of are. And let's just see what I'm talking about. I'm going to get a eyedropper tool. So look at the upper right here. Notice that looks like an eyedropper. This lets me sample the color. So I'm going to sample right over the Porsche badge, right there. And then we go down here. And what this shows you is what's the color. So here's a color ring. And you see, oh, I'm kind of in the blue. Or you go to the upper right here, which also shows you the blue. And as you go left, you get less blue. It's desaturating. And as you go down, it gets darker. So what you'll note is that this is a blue, but it's been desaturated, going to the left. And it's about a mid-dark. This is pure white. This is pure black. This is sort of midway. So let's look at what that actually looks like as a color. We can make a little bigger circle here, and I'll just draw it right here. So that's the color, which here looks really gray, doesn't it? Because it is. And then let's go and sample way up here and see what blue that really is. Now look at that. That is a bright blue. So just like when you go to the paint store, they'll add globs of color to make whatever wall shade you want. In this case, they grab a glob of blue, this bright blue, but to make this particular paint shade, they'd add quite a bit of black to darken it down. All right, so that's the gray blue. Let's go down here to this other Porsche, which looks like, oh, that's silver, that's not blue. And I'm going to sample, again, I turn this into the little eyedropper, the same place. There we go. Now, if you look over here on the left, it's moved way over, which means I've desaturated it a ton. So that would make it mostly gray, but you'll notice the thing's still saying, yeah, it's kind of a blue. And let's look at what that gray is. It doesn't look all that different really than this blue-gray, does it? And if I choose this base color, if you will, blue. Not quite the same blue. And of course there's some variation depending on shadow. I probably could have gotten more like that if I'd gotten a slightly shadowy region, but whatever, not a big deal. Getting the basic idea. So now let's jump to the black. What would I expect? I'd expect this little blue circle down here to drop down because it's pretty dark. And I also would expect to be over on the left because a lot of the blue has been pulled out. So eyedropper tool, choose the color, and look at that. Just like I suggested. Very dark, very desaturated, i.e. down low and to the left. Here's what the color looks like. And you'll notice it's just a gray. And if I grab the basic blue, there we go. Not all that dissimilar from the first two blues. I guess this is the most tealy of them. And finally, let's go to the white car, if you will, or light silver or Arctic silver, whatever they call it. I'm going to choose, once again, right over the badge. And you notice the little circle is up. It's brighter. To the left, it's desaturated. There's the color, another shade of gray. And if we just grab the blue itself, there we go. So interestingly, these four cars, which you'd say one's white, one's silver, one's black, one's kind of blue, you could actually argue they're all blue or at least they all were made with blue, and then they had different levels of desaturation and different levels of darkening. So basically, a lot of white and this blue would make this lower right car, and the upper right car you'd have to add a bunch of black and blue, of course, to get that particular shade of what they like to call black, but we now know it's not really black. And that's it for the color analysis of this not quite Christmas day yet.